Hello, everyone. Mr. No Souls here, and today I want to talk about a game that I've been playing for a while. It's called Quasimorph. Actually, there was the older demo version that was Quasimorphosis that I played a long time ago. Oh man, that was when it ended, but I think it actually came out. Oh wow, March 22nd. So yeah, um, I've been playing this game since it's been this beta free to play thing that is no longer available, and I'm quite sad about it because this is I think they should have kept this up and available for people to go and take a look at because I think this version of the build was also really interesting, and also it's good for posterity, but um in the current version of the game that's still in early access, they've had a new update that has done a phenomenal job with this game. And this is a 2D extraction shooter that has a very heavy focus on loot and general layout. Um, and not layout like the facilities and stuff like that, though. There is a lot of tactical depth to it. um, I'm talking layout as in like figuring out how exactly you're going to be leveling up your characters, how you're going to be looking for particular resources or ways to upgrade your ship. There's a lot of depth to this game. Um, and the new, and I know I was supposed to be doing logic bombs on Monday. I apologize. Um, I got sucked into this. I started playing it again, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. This is a really good game. It is hitting the area for Tarkov, since Tarkov isn't. I like that Tarkov's out on Steam. It is a great game, but I prefer this right now. It's normally only $20. It's right now on sale till November 24th, so 4 more days, and it's $14 right now. You could also go get this little supporter bundle. Doesn't really do too much. It just gives you a skin for your ship, um, and that's really it. So yeah, you get a couple demos, you get some soundtracks, uh, got some art, all you know, things that exist. Actually, I'm kind of tempted to go grab it right now just because it's not that I need it, I just really like the game. But anyways, going back to this, I'm going to talk a little bit about like how the game starts out and how to like effectively navigate the ship. And I'm not it's this isn't going to be like a normal what is kind of thing. Um it's more going to be talking around like what exactly is this game, because it is very unusual. It's not like anything else. Um yeah, I'm actually going to do a new run. Turn that off. I'm going to leave the easier starting missions because, like, no joke, these missions are brutal. Um, Actually, there's no reason that should be the case. I now realize. I didn't actually realize those were settings. That would have made my life a lot better if I had actually put that on. These are actually kind of important, but these are all like settings you can do to like modify your individual runs. I wish there was some way to like save this so like I could start multiple runs with like one preset. Um, but it is what it is. You have, I believe, huh, they have 6 starting classes now, which is fine. I like that you only start out with two, and the two that you start out with are pretty good. Um, but they're like they're balanced. They're very different kind of playstyles between them. One is melee focused, one is more range focused. Uh, you know what? For the showcase of this, I'm just gonna flip that to many, just to kind of show it.
The history of humanity is written in tears and blood. Liars, tyrants, idealists, they all tried to bring happiness on the edge of a sword. We waited for liberation from the shackles of fate, and were ready to go through the last judgment for it. Not for the glorious death for the eternal kingdom, love, or the Lord, but for a way to step off the path of suffering. But when the apocalypse came, we shrugged our shoulders and started profiting from it as usual. The creatures lurking in the depths of space didn't seem scarier than our own world. Armed with the hope that the darkest hour comes before dawn, we try to survive until the first rays of the sun.
Yeah, and like the story and the voice acting and stuff, it all is actually pretty good, and like the generative like world building, story building kind of stuff as you go through missions is quite good. It really is a great like emergent gameplay, and I get kind of annoyed when you use like the intellectual way of discussing games. But that is the right way to call it. It's emergent gameplay. It is quite good with this, and there's quite a lot here going on. There's a lot of written text, and you can read like um you can read about like the demon faction, the civil like communism. Well, not necessarily. I think they are like pro-union group more. They're like people like the Workers' Party. Because like there are mega corps that are like just doing terrible exploitation of people, and like you have the like "Viva la Resistance," the people shall rise up against the like oppressors, like these people, they're actually kind of interesting. These guys are also interesting. um you like it has the solar system uh out here. You're effectively a PMC group taking contracts, and yeah, you're just trying to figure out what exactly is going on. So right now I'm just going to take a quick thing just to point out a few different details. You start off, this is the calendar, this is the time and days, and these accelerate how quickly you're moving. This is all the businesses on a planet. And you can look here and you can see, like, Planet Bridge, Grasshopper Technology, Realware, Civil Resistance, which is that, like, Viva la People. And yeah, like you can see, there's two different companies here owned by the same group. Um, and these are all really important to think about because, like, being here, you see that they have not that much power with only 100 power, but some of these guys actually, yeah, some of these guys are producing like really useful things. So, like, you take a look here. I can't actually take a look at the cargo, but like they're data miners. I can't really like go and show it because the second I tried to like go down, that big box is like food rations, and like on the far right side there's actually these switchboard chips, and you use that to upgrade your ship. So it's like you can buy these things once they start producing them. Um, like they have required, or sorry, those are the items they're requiring, and then if you look at the bottom, like the one thing is I think military supplies, and the other one is like um these like AI kind of like learning units that you can put into clones and like upgrade them. So this is your ship, and you have all these different areas in it, like navigation, engineering, research, and like they have all these upgrade trees in them. Now, I don't know why it isn't just by default open like this and why it jumps between all the different zones, but whatever. But if you look here, I have welding machines, which is a barter item that I need. And if I click yes, I now have the ability to produce some resources. And if I get more welding machines, I can do more upgrades. But then not all of them require it. Some of them require, if you recognize that, that's that little crafting box over there. And then these are like larger parts and stuff. And all these things you find in missions. You can also purchase them and like sell things to the corporations and get credits with them, and then you can purchase things from their individual sites. So like learning the economy is a big thing, and traveling between different planets and knowing who is the big producers in those areas, because like what corporations own those resources really impacts what's available. Yeah, so she's just going to tell you like, hey, these are all things that you can go and do. And like right here you can see like bandages and splints and antibiotics. All these things are like stuff that you're going to want. um and sorbent is one of the things that you can like make for no cost. And effectively the reason why you're interested in this is that it reduces all these different bad effects: alcoholism, infections, which you can get if you like bandage yourself with like bad materials. Some of the factions use poisoned equipment, so it's like if you get hit by that, this is like literally a must have, because if you don't have it, you're going to die. And you can, of course, do filtering on a whole bunch of different things, but right now I don't have enough material to actually go and produce anything. Um, but something else that I want to really quickly before we actually get started anything, there's like food, and actually your caloric intake is really important, because as you fight, you burn calories, and if your clones don't have enough calories in them, they start starving and they will die from literally just taking damage from starvation. So like food production is actually really important, and because plastic is so easy to get, and actually if you use these food rations, funnily enough, they produce plastic. So you're able to constantly cycle the food um, just really easily. It's kind of weird that there's two of the same, like effectively the same thing. Like there's Moo Moo synthetic beef and Chick Chick, which is synthetic chicken. I find it funny. There's literally no difference between the two. They both cost one plastic. They both have the same amount of time. There are things like that in this game that it's just like, yeah, they are literally the exact same, but if you'd prefer chicken or beef, you have the option. And then like ammunition and stuff like that, you can craft it with gunpowder. And the thing is you'll find tons of ammunition on levels, but you can't store that much ammunition. So it's like rending them down to gunpowder and taking that gunpowder out to then come here and go make like the ammunition for the guns that you actually want to use is quite useful. And then it's like sometimes even like rotten meat. Why you like you'd think rotten meat would be entirely useless, but then like if you have the crafting, and you can get more things to craft not just by upgrading your crafting area, but also by finding chips that teach your printers how to make things. These are actually pretty useful. So it's like everything has a use, but it's through your knowledge of the system, your knowledge of the world, your knowledge of the limitations and capabilities of your characters. You can influence, extort, uh, like force situations to become favorable to yourself, but it's extremely difficult, and you have to know so much that just isn't really explained to you. You just have to accept the fact that you're just going to lose runs over and over and over again, and even then once you do, and you can see here, like here's a list of things that are actually going on. There's unrest among the staff at Flat Obsidian Mercury. The demons is suspected organizing the unrest. The owner of the station civil resistance has sent additional forces to eliminate them. So it's like literally as the world goes, if you damage these corporations really badly, the demons will start coming into their organization and like destroying them, and it can like go full fledged where like demons are just everywhere, owning everything, destroying everything. Um, and you can see like here's some more demons, and like you could read about all these different fights and things that are occurring. Now looking at the map, you can see here's a picture of a planet. You could go look at like Mercury, and like it's starting out here. This is like situationally, like the further out you go, the further out everything is. So it's like as you go, it's by each ring of the solar system, and the heavenly bodies or orbiting bodies. And you can see here it's like 110 days to actually get to Phobos, or sorry, get to Jupiter from Phobos. So it's like actually knowing where you are in relationship to everything else can greatly impact your ability to like support or like stop things from happening. Um, and it's like I'm legitimately thinking maybe I do want to go um, out here. I have 36 days. It would take me 33 days to get to Mercury, but then I would be able to help fight back the demonic incursion, and that might be a really good thing to go and do. But I could also take a look at over here. That's really close. I have 45 days on the docket. The difficulty's lower. And something that I want to point out is like every single faction has their own strengths and weaknesses. So what you go in to fight them with, um, like having really good armor can be a massive help. But then sometimes some of the factions like use pierce damage with poison. You can have the heaviest armor in the world, poison goes right through it. It literally does nothing. So you need like sorbent and other things to quickly heal yourself up and remove that poison so you can continue fighting and maybe survive. So it's like maybe you don't go in with the heaviest armor, but you go in with like a medium armor and a bunch of anti-poison stuff. It's like really quick. But then the skulls is actually only how tough the units are on site. It's the power concentration that tells you how many people are actually there. So like you could choose the Church of Revelation, and that is three skulls, very high difficulty, but there's only 200 of them, which in some ways could be easier than if you had a one skull with like 600 power concentration or like 1,200 power concentration. It'd be way more difficult. But then, you know, the rewards are generally pretty well balanced in that regard. So, like, yeah, actually going to Mercury might not be a bad idea, but it would take too long to get there, so I wouldn't actually be able to do this mission if I went to Citadel 1. I'd most likely want to either go to Mercury and hit this place and fight this demonic incursion, or maybe I would consider going to something like Venus, um, try to handle some of this. It's all like really heavy. You have to think through like what is going on and where. Yeah, see, like this would be extremely difficult. And you also have to consider how many floors there are, because you can end up where you're barely like, depending on how everything ends up split up, they can have super dense one layer and then almost nothing on another layer. So you have to be really, really careful of how exactly you're going to be handling everything. Now I could go to like Demios because that's like right next door. It only take me 20 hours to get there. Um, and I could eliminate something that's right here. That would be a pretty quick way to get it. Or I could go 16 hours. But this is, yeah, they're a little high. I'll go to Demios, just to showcase.
We can terminate orbit, sir. Confirm charge and go. Your guidance has converged. You're looking good. Roger. In.
So this is how, and part of the problem is I wish at this level like you could also see a breakdown of the difficulty and everything, because it's like it purely expects you to just remember everything from here, which, I mean, fair. You did just see it, so, fair. But I don't know. I would prefer just to have everything set up so that you can see it in the mission select and you can see all the details and consider everything, because it's like you go here and you look at um, the operators, like you want to go and take a look, and you can see each operator is slightly different. Some have more health, but they have better strike accuracy or worse ranged accuracy. So it's like, which one do you want to do what? Um, and this one is actually a really good choice for the Eclipse Blades, which is all blades focus. It gives you better sprinting effect. It gives you a little bit of regeneration. Gives you the ability to get energy back or action points back whenever like you get hurt in melee. It ups your damage. This one, and like these can all get varied. Like the Scouts of Hades makes people more resistant and like can survive longer on the calories, so it's like more efficient to survive. Gives them extra action AP if they get shot at and they miss. So it's like all these things are really great, but you have to know, like, hey, how exactly are you building your individual characters? And then there's even more things like implants. Do you want to have like a drill arm that makes you insanely like powerful in melee, or do you want to have like upgraded legs so you can run faster? Like, there's so many different things that you can go and do. And one of the things that they went and did is they actually went and created this filtering system so you can go and set all these containers to have like filtering oh crud, I didn't mean to do that. All these filters so you can actually organize things effectively. And I'm going to go real quickly. I'm actually going to do something. I'm probably not going to seriously play this um class, so I'm just going to show some things. Like, this is all armor, and like each one of these things effectively is like a different detail. So like you can see it's cloth, it's ordinary, it's very low tech level. But then you can see it's giving you a couple different stats. Things like blunt resistance, which is like getting hit with hammers. This is your like getting shot. This is your getting cut with swords. This is your resistance to like flamethrower or like entropy or other things like that. Um, so yeah, these are pretty important. Like against the demons, this is like really important against certain like groups that use poison weapons, and then like some of the really high tech groups, this is really important. And then I hadn't run into any beams yet, but I imagine it's pretty important um if you do run into the wrong thing. And then like having backpacks is really important, but like I don't even have any good backpacks. I have to actually go and craft some better backpacks. And then like medical stuff, and you can see here this lines up, your heal percent chance lines up with what type of damage you're taking. So if you're getting shot with bullets, you want bandages, but if you're getting hit or like explosions and stuff, you need splints. So understanding like what type of damage you're taking is really important, because it can be make or break on whether or not you survive bad situations. But then you can get things like first aid kits that heal all your wounds no matter what. But there's just something you want to. Well, it's a 50% chance to heal any wound. So it's not as good as like a specific one that has like 70% chance to fix like fractures and whatnot. But an 80% chance to fix, like getting shot or getting slashed. But it's 50% against everything. So if you have a bunch of different injuries all over your body, it's a really great choice. And then you have to be careful about like Cosmos, which can reduce Quasimorphosis, which is the rate in which demons can show up on your planet and in your mission. This thing can reduce it, but you have a chance to become addicted to nicotine, um, which is really bad, which means you need to constantly be smoking these cigarettes. However, they will help fight off the demonic scourge. And then, of course, like food, calories, and everything else. So I'm just going to start this mission now. Uh, this gives you a breakdown of what the mission is. get a nice little look in. Unfortunately, it doesn't always line up like the layout of the place you're coming into, but that's fine. Just complete miss unchained pilot burst through the cargo locks. You know something about their piece. They already destroyed the ware for our position. So I have to get to floor 2. And you're gonna be like, man. So, yep, human eye, skin, and like you can see, like you can eat things that give you calories. And some things you can use to actually repair, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Here you can see how many calories you have. I right now have like 2,000 calories in the tank. I have 130 health. I'm stealth right now, which allows me to see, um, where people are. If I do this, inventory isn't free action. However, I get to take 2 actions, and then if I sprint, I get a reduction in my actions. I take more calories per action, and I can't access my inventory. However, I get 3 action points. So it's like the turn economy is a big thing, um, but it is what it is. Yep, you can see right there was someone. Oh, crud. That's not great. Wasn't wanting to run into someone right out the gate.
Let's bring him in for questioning.
Oh, and I dodged. Okay, let's kick it up into dashing. Gotcha. And you can wait a turn, which is actually a really big thing. Now I have a slightly stronger weapon. I'm going to craft things over into rags, which you can, again, use like makeshift bandages. This is used for slightly different fixes. Okay, looks like there's nobody inside, so I can sneak in. Ooh, nice. Shotgun is good to find, so I'm going to grab that. And you can look around real quick. Oh. Swap over to the axe. Ooh, that's a good one to get. It's also not a bad one to get. And then you can like have things that are actually pretty important here. I'm gonna keep that for now. I don't have to worry about it. Like absentia, that tells you how many demons are starting to come or not come at the moment. Okay. Long blades are actually pretty useful for what I'm going to want. So I know that's a crafting material. I want all these things. I will take the rod. Ooh, shotgun shells. What do I have in my shotgun? Okay, so I have shells that I don't necessarily not want, but not necessarily shells that I also want. And it's annoying that they constantly are like interrupting things, but it is what it is. And you can see like as you go through it, condition goes down a little bit, so it's like you can go and shoot things. Okay, let's go. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. I need to figure out where exactly that second... Okay, that's another melee weapon, but let's make sure... Okay, it doesn't have... Got him. And so that triggers my perk, which gives me an increase to my damage. So it's not the best, but hey, it starts filling the caloric requirements that I need. Ooh. And right now I'm just going for speed. 42 bullets, which is useful for a gun type that I don't have at the moment. One of these are likely going to be the facility that I'm looking for. Yeah, see, there's likely someone nearby. Oh! Okay, that's okay. I can handle him easily enough. Let's go all the way up to a sprint. It's not as good, but it has more durability. I think I'm going to actually use that on that, and I'll just finish that up there. And then just go and pull together more long blades, because then I can use that to craft more knives at a later point. Ooh, wait, what's going on? Okay, so that's an auto dock, which you can use to heal. Oh, okay, that's fine. And he's a bruiser, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, there we go. I now have used a scanner, which will give me a full breakdown of everything except where the exit is. So you can see there, that's items, that's people. So. Ooh, that is a good thing to get. Okay. Pop myself one of those. Don't have to worry about the rest. And let's see if I can get anything good. Like these containers here. Yeah, see, that's really good to get. And that's a really good. Oh, crud. Okay. So getting this is a massively valuable item, so much so that like I could literally extract right now just because I have that. With that, I can permanently upgrade not only what I create, but like, oh no, oh my gosh. Okay, he has 4. Okay, that could have gone way worse, but it didn't. So. Infection chance, I will eat that. And I'll just eat that as well. Ooh, canned food is good to get. See, like, this rotten meat is what I need to go and make that, like, special medication. But I don't necessarily want that at the moment, so. And, like, there are different, like, audio levels for different things that you're walking on. Like, trash cans, you can go find things. Like, this is an armor component, which you can use to upgrade certain things. And it, like, can heal robots if you're using them. But then it's also, like, it's just also used in crafting and a whole bunch of other stuff. Water is used in crafting, but it's also good for, like, just triggering some regen. I don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, let's go up to the next floor. This is where the mission is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see. Weird. I thought I heard my cat for a second doing something. Okay, I'm just going to real quickly poke my head over here. Normally you can see if a container has something or not. Like 98% of the time you'll know. But sometimes you get surprised. 12 gauge. I would really like that, but I don't have space, and I'd like to keep that knife. Okay, so might be worthwhile actually backtracking. You see all the blood, so. Oh no. Oh, thank gosh. Okay, so that's a handgun. And like here I'm just going to show up, like it'd be nice to take this individual group of ammo, but I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get any value out of it. And like springs are used for, again, crafting individual guns, but I can disassemble all this stuff and get gunpowder. So if I didn't want something, or maybe like on my way out, if I remember to go take a look at this, I might be able to like go realize, hey, oh gosh. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, I don't have any rounds to actually reload with. Oh, geez. Okay. Oh.
The sun will shine always.
Gonna save one. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Well, that was quite fortunate. Oh, he was shooting me with a railgun, or shooting at me with a railgun. So this is really good because it gives you a bunch of free armor in fresh condition. But the big thing, this gun is actually pretty good. That armor is really good. Actually, all of it. Ooh, it's an armor kit. So that's actually even better than what they were offering previously. This hat is a little better than what I have. I am actually going to eat that. And then I'm going to take that gun because it's really good. I can make Sorbert really easily. So I'm actually going to unload all of this and replace the Sorbert. I don't necessarily need that rubber, so I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I'm not going to do anything with that. Let's just disassemble everything that I can. See, like, this makeshift grenade is a really good thing to get, so I'm going to grab that. Though it's far from perfect, it is better than nothing. Okay, so that's a mission. I could go and keep exploring, which is really tempting. But it's also, like, super dangerous. It's like, early on, it's not necessarily a bad idea just to, like, cut your losses and say, like, I'm just getting out of here. But I do have a grenade. I could just poke my nose around a little bit. Synthetic moo meat, fine. Might as well just pop a little bit in my mouth. Doesn't look like there's anything in there. Berberman. Okay, that's all water, which really means this is the last place that I don't necessarily know. And looks like I've discovered everything, so I'm just going to poke my nose up here into this container, and like you can grab like, let's see, more stuff that I don't necessarily care about, but then like you could legitimately go and grab like fire extinguishers off the wall, and you're like, why on earth would you want this? because it can spread water, and it's a good way to fight like someone with a flamethrower or something. So it sounds ridiculous. Everything has a really good deal of depth, and like, you know, if you're, oh my, that's a phenomenal find. And like, I can find a bunch of stuff in there, and that geoscanner, it's worthwhile to take that apart just for a geoscanner. Like, that is, yeah, that was a great. So it's like actually going and like paying attention to the environment and going and looking through. Oh my gosh, and I didn't even bother to pay attention to that. That's like another really different. Like, I never find those. Um, so like all of a sudden having that is like a great find. Man, this is actually a really good start. But yeah, and then you just evacuate out from here, and that's how you complete a level. And it's really straightforward. But it's like you have to know so much of what's going on, and there's a lot of reading. But it's like these guys lost power. I got a Darknet unit, which gives me ways to upgrade all these individual skills. So, like, if I have someone with a class that gives them these skills and they get experience with it, I can go and use this unit to go and give them more experience in those individual areas. And then, like, right here, I just got the Tifton's Elite, which is a heavy weapons, grenadier, self-healing, stationary defense. Like, I've never gotten this class before. This is the first time I'm seeing this class, which is freaking great. And on top of that, I got a production license for all this like labware and stuff, which is really awesome to see. And now if I go over here, let's see, where exactly did it go? Yeah, so I can unlock that, and then I can unlock this and sort that up, and I can finish my mission. Then I can go to spacecraft, and I can come take a look at my operators, and there's Tifton's Elite. So as long as I'm an organic, which means like you're a human, you have all these things. So like my explosives are better. I have better use with a whole bunch. Oh, interesting. So this one only affects assault rifles, machine guns, miniguns, grenade launchers, and rocket launchers. So like if I were using SMGs, assault rifles, pistols, and so on, this wouldn't be that useful. Yeah, this class is, yeah, literally designed for machine guns. It's interesting. So like also if I had like my turret and stuff like that, I could use this. You know though, I am going to say something like the simple fact that I can get these two perks, I wouldn't want to start someone with this. But like if I had an assault rifle that I was liking to run with people, um, you know, Scouts of Hades has something that would actually pair very well with that, because this also affects assault rifles. So then if I double dipped a little bit with this, I could get even more benefits to assault rifles, on top of the fact give them a chance to get some more levels with these kind of improvements. But the fact that he's a sniper really kind of knocks him out of wanting to be in this. He's better off being a Scout of Hades, because this is the one that really works well with a lot of different weapons. So this guy would probably go with this. I would maybe not want to run him with this, but maybe I'd want to run him with the Storm TT. Um, so yeah. But anyways, I can real quick come over here and I can show I have like, see that one thing that I grabbed, that welding material, that's one of three. So it's like I need two more, and then I can use this to improve my assembly times and like start looking at eventually getting more slots and other things. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then like now with the time that I took to actually go and look at everything, um, you can see here I've impacted the individual groups, and like AdCom right now is friendly with me, and I can see what missions that they want and where. So if I'm trying to like go and gain favoritism with this company, I can go and do that. And if I do a lot of trade with them, I can gain credits and buy things with them. And then I can see what their technology is. So, like, what exactly are their class chips? Or, like, what's their probability of getting class chips? And if I get to level 2, like, what their armors are and what their weapons are. And, like, you can see all their individual upgrades and the things that they have. So there's a lot of really nice things. But then, like, if I come here and I look at this person, like, they don't have the data miner, but they have, like, switchboards, which are useful for certain upgrades on the ship. So it's like picking these people are useful for specific things if you're looking for them. So, like, having a group that you're like, oh, yeah, I want to work with these guys, they have their pros and cons. And, like, Kalan, the demon people, they have all these individual weapons and stuff, but none of them have anything that would actually help upgrade my ship. So, gotta think about that. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and everything. I don't want to spoil too much about the game, but I did want to kind of talk and explain some of the systems in it. And I mean, I didn't even go over like half the stuff in here, but it's a great game. It is phenomenal. I really enjoy it. I wish more people, uh, you know, would get into this game because I don't think it's gotten nearly as much hype as it probably deserves. But I think the reason why it doesn't have as much hype as it deserves is because so much of this is just text, 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 text. It's like, holy crud. So much like reading and everything, which really could just be done through like really good visuals, like just a picture and a couple like word snippets can help you so much in figuring out so many of these details. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to shut up now and just let you guys enjoy a really good game. I hope you guys, yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Adios.